Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mike from Craft Beer Storm, and this is our segment we call Beer Style. So every Wednesday we come to you with a different beer style. We go down the GABF guidelines, and this week it's historical beer. And we'll cut this into two parts because there's so many, but beers in this category include established historical beers and or brewing traditions from any era or part of the world that don't fit within another beer style defined within these guidelines. This category pays tribute to beers that incorporate unique brewing ingredients and or techniques that were used in the past. Within the framework of these guidelines, examples of historical beers include South American Chicha, Nepalese Chong or Chang, and African sorghum-based beers and others. So beer is not just barley and wheat, and there's a lot of other stuff that you can make beer with. And I like to focus on this podcast on Chicha because it's so interesting. Now, Chicha, its history dates back to about 5000 BC, where there's evidence of early pottery in the Andean region used as vessels to carry and store chicha. The drink soon played a crucial role in history and civilization. It became the cultural signifier for many Andean groups, i.e. the Incas and Aztecs. It was not only central to many economies as a means of payment, but also became important for its intoxicating effects. For many of the Andean groups, drunkenness was a way to spiritually communicate as well as develop a sense of community and togetherness. Sharing a drink with another person was seen as an act of friendship and understanding. Does that sound familiar to you? Today, chicha is still an important drink for many in Central and South America. Now, the normal process for making beer is usually you grind up barley to release starch. You soak it in hot water to convert that starch to sugar. And then what you do is boil and then cool it down. You add your yeast, and then that would ferment or interact with the sugar and create alcohol. Now, chicha is an ancient beer indigenous to many cultures, ranging from the Andes up to what is now the southwestern United States. And somewhere along history, someone decided it'd be a good idea to chew up corn, which is an essential element of chicha, spit it out, boil it, and then ferment it in a clay pot for a few days until it was ready to drink. You know, what people do. Hey, but it worked. Dogfish Head Brewery makes chicha and describes the process. And they say, so what exactly is chicha? In Peru, the small communities produced it from a masticated maize, which is really corn, and that's a grain, naturally fermented in large clay pots and often flavored with indigenous fruit and spices. Dogfish Head first made chicha beer in 2009. And what happened was that the purple maize was milled, moistened in Dogfish Head workers' mouths, and spit out and mixed with malted barley and standard grain used in beer before it was boiled. Now, the reason why they chewed it and spit it out was that the natural ptyalin enzymes in the saliva act as a catalyst and break the starches into more accessible fermentable sugars. And then the yeast converts these sugars into alcohol. Since the grain chewing, known as salivation, happens before the beer is boiled, the beer is sterile. I mean, everybody's spitting into a bucket, but you boil it, so it's all sterile. And what they did is added soursop fruit and strawberries to the beer in order to make their chicha. Now, recently in 2018, Dogfish Head enlisted the help of 100 plus co-workers to prepare the beer's main ingredient, which was masticated purple maize. And for the first time, they released 200 750 milliliter bottles of this one-of-a-kind brew exclusively at their Milton, Delaware tasting room and kitchen in March. So they got a load of people to do this. Spit into buckets or clay pots or whatever. Boiled it, cooled it down, fermented it with yeast, and there you go, chicha. The ABV on Dogfish Head Chicha is 3.1, so it's pretty low. And the IBU is negligible. It's not really a hoppy beverage at all. And you can look up all the stuff in dogfishhead.com. We also pull some things from the Home Brewers Association website, and I'll include those links in the show notes. So that's it for Chicha this week. That's your historical beer. So chew on that for a week. And if you like what we're doing, you like our podcast, every Monday we do a podcast where we bring a brewer on. We interview him or somebody that's an influencer in the craft beer industry. On Wednesdays we do these. We do the beer styles, which we pick another category. We just go down the list in the GABF list of categories for beer styles. And then Friday we do craft brew news. So if you like what we're doing, please go on iTunes, rate us, give us a ranking, give us a review. That would mean the world to me, and it gets us out there, and we just move up on the ratings. So that's all I have for today, and I wish you a great day, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care.